Hi, this is Bob Weiss. I'm the host of Shaking Your World. Cheers.
Folks, hello and welcome home. Yet another cooking segment at Shakers as part of the Shaking Your World concept that we're doing here. So one of my all-time favorite food cities, I'm sure this holds true for many people, is San Francisco. San Francisco has fallen on some really unusual and in many ways dark times, but this is something you can make for yourself at home. Now, this is Cioppino. Cioppino is the classic San Francisco Italian dish. Tons of Italian immigrants are based in San Francisco. They're responsible for much of the wine industry, for olive industry, for much of the produce that we get out of California. And this is something that they covet. Obviously, San Francisco, being on the Pacific Ocean, has a bevy of things. We're going to be working with crab, octopus, calamari, mussels, shrimp, scallops, Dungeness crab, and salmon. All things that are sourced from the Pacific. So what I'm going to do is start just with a simple pan right here. I've got a little bit of olive oil on the bottom of this. I'm going to throw in some garlic. I'll keep these as whole cloves. Not my usual smash technique. I'm going to get some, this is a simple tomato puree. And I often talk about how there's nothing like fresh tomatoes in Costa Rica. Just the produce is the best that there is, period. I've also got just a simple little paste. So you take your tomatoes and you mulch them down and put them through a strainer, get rid of the seeds, and then you just let it reduce. And you can keep this frozen, keep this in your refrigerator, Ziploc bag, anything at all, multi-purpose. Got this going on. So right here I've got paprika, black peppercorn, kosher salt, fennel, because I don't have any fennel in the house today. So using fennel seeds, oregano, tarragon, and a little bit of crushed red pepper. Now, I'm going to build this up by getting some of the softer things in first. So our calamari is going to go in. Our octopus is going to go in. Along with the juice, you want that octopus liquor. The shrimp have been shelled. You're going to toss them in just like that. We're keeping the last segment on. It's always a fun little presentation, and you can pick them up on your plate, your bowl, and eat them that way. So this is incredibly easy to build this thing. Black mussels. Got these gorgeous scallops that just arrived today. And these are U6, that means under 6 per pound. We're taking out the abductor mussel. I believe we covered this in one of our other segments a month ago or so. So these look pretty clean. Yeah, except for this abductor. Abductor is what holds these shells together. And for example, a scallop of this size would have a shell that's probably even a little bit larger than this. So if you can imagine, this is what you'd find in the ocean. This big shell, inside is this one scallop. So I'm starting this off on high, but in the moment I'm going to take it down because I definitely do not want this to burn. It's going to cook for about an hour. Our time to assemble this is really very short. So because I don't want to have these beautiful whole scallops, I'm going to cut them into pieces, and it's just going to be more suitable for using with a spoon as opposed to something that you would cut on your plate with a knife and a fork. If you are fortunate enough to be around abalone, that you could score that, that could go in here as well. But abalone has a very pronounced musky aroma. It's like, smells like sex, frankly. So this is just a little bit of fish stock. Again, something when you prepare fish, it's so easy just to retain some of these juices and use them for something else. Our Dungeness here, I put this in the oven for a moment. And so he's cooked right now. And all I'm going to do with this, I'm going to leave it as, obviously it's been scaled. I'm going to leave the skin on as well. A lot of techniques perhaps would take that off. I'm a fan of fish skin. Even though this is not going to be crisp, I think it just adds something to the dish. If you don't have salmon, you can use actually any kind of fish you want, ocean fish that you want. Crappie and bluegill perhaps would not be the way to go with this. So again, I'm just looking for something that is a large spoon size just chunks of fish. We'll call it chunks of fish. We're done with that. We're going to take just a spoon and give it a little twisty thing here. Move it around a little bit. Get some water in here. Maria, have you got an onion handy? Thank you. If I had a little forethought today that I was doing Cioppino, I would have brought in some shallots or shallots, but we can replicate much of the flavor I'm looking for with about 1/3 of an onion as well. If you have a leek would work perfectly in here. Any number of options you have. If you want to have this cut finely, you could. I'm going to ask me at some point, why didn't I put this in the bottom of the pan? Well, because I'm not necessarily looking for something, I'm not doing a meat or a steak where I want the flavors of the onion to predominate the oil. So by doing it this way, it's going to be an important part of this composition, the stew that we're putting together, without overwhelming any part of it. So that at least is my rationalization. So all the herbs, the spices, all the flavorings I want are in here. You notice that this, again, it being an Italian dish, does not use any of the French things. If you were to make a bouillabaisse, I would have a mirepoix here. I would kick this off with celery and with onions and carrots, but we're not going that route. So just like that, I'm going to take our Dungeness here and we're going to lay him in. I'm going to say, well, how is he going to cook? Well, at the moment, what I want to do is extract as much flavor from this as it starts to cook down. At some point, I'm going to bust this into pieces as well, and we use that for a presentation. But right now, he's going to do exactly what I want him to do. Just be happy and nestle. So we've turned down our temperature, and we're just going to let it go like that. So see you guys in about 45 minutes to an hour. Thank you. Folks, we're back. It's been cooking for about an hour right now at a real slow simmer. And the smells are just magnificent. Customers walking in are talking about how good this smells. This really smells good. I'm going to take it off right now just to facilitate my addition. So while we were off camera, I broke the Dungeness Crab down. Get all the goodness that's inside of that into here. So what we're going to do, because we have a kind of a smallish little pot, we're going to get just some parts going out here first. Put some of the bigger pieces on the side so we can serve more people with that. And I want to get at the other components, the seafood that is on the bottom. So the shrimp, mussels, octopus, calamari, scallop, and yes, this is quite hot. And maybe a larger ladle would help this. It really is this simple. The smells, I tasted a bit right before we pulled this off. This is exquisite. I can't express to you if you like seafood. This is, to me, on par with a bouillabaisse. It is just everything you could possibly want in a seafood soup or stew. And here it is. I hope you enjoy it. Cheers to you.